Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of the Sourdough Masterclass. My name is Evan. Welcome to Ivana Your Mama and its YouTube channel. If you have not yet checked out the website, ivanayourmama.club, I'll link it in the description below. Starting right now, this is the first episode. It'll be the first page on the website too. The one thing we won't really be talking about in this masterclass is the mother dough, and that's pretty much because I don't really want to make another sourdough starter. Definitely check out the website. That is the first step in making your own sourdough, and first step in making your own bread. Right now, we're pretty much just going to go through the steps of actually baking the sourdough. So as you can see, I've got, a couple bowls. I have scale, flour, red flour over here, spoon. I have a chopstick for mixing. So we're pretty much just gonna get started with it. I'm gonna put this bowl here. I do need some water. So put this bowl over here too. Take that, turn that on. And we're going to be using grams for this. Again, check out the recipe at the website. We'll be using 200 grams of sourdough starter. A little over. That's fine, I'll just scoop a little bit out. See, we'll take that. Alright. 200 grams sourdough starter. Also, if you take a look at this, just stick that in there for now. If you notice, you see how bubbly that is? That's pretty much what we want our sourdough starter to look like. Very bubbly, very buoyant. This is probably a little, what's the word? A little over ready. A little too ripe. You'll see when it's really ripe, when it's perfect, it's very bubbly. There's a kind of a, what's the word? It's not concave because that's under. Convex? It's essentially an area where you can see the sourdough starter. You can still see it rising. There's a little bump over the top of it. You can see the edges of the crock are still lower. Alright, so I'm gonna grab some water. Grab some water. This water just shouldn't be cold, shouldn't be too hot either. That's why I'm microwaving it a bit, just to heat it up a little bit, just enough so that it isn't cold but isn't boiling or steaming hot. That's pretty good. Just use this chopstick just to mix it up just a little bit. Alright, now we need 400 grams of water, which we might need to add a little more to this mug, but we'll find out. Common sense would see better. Almost. Just about, and it's fine if you go a couple grams over or under. Give that a good mix. Turn this off for now. Get that off. Just mix until together, not a big deal. The sourdough starter will dissolve right into the water pretty quickly. Alright, I'm gonna drink the rest of this water. Might as well. Okay, I'm gonna put this aside. Put this back. So I get some bread flour going. And I'll do 600 grams of bread flour. Alright, turn it off again, put it aside. Now, take my chopstick, my starter and water, give another quick mix, and pour it on in. Alright, I'm not going to put this bowl into the sink just yet to wash it off. We're going to use it again to feed our starter right after we mix this. See it. Pretty easy. You can use a dough whisk, though I don't have one. You can use your hands. You can use probably a fork. Probably wouldn't use this, a whisk though. It definitely clumps up a little bit too much. You can throw it in a mixer. That's fine too. The only thing is just don't let it mix for too long. Probably with the dough hook attachment, not the paddle attachment. Just because I like to feel or see what the dough looks like. Pretty much mix it until there's no big clumps of flour. Where everything's kind of mixed up. No bits of water anywhere, no bits of flour. Starting to stick. Alright, that's pretty good. Scrape down the edges a little bit. Alright. Just until there's no big clumps, right? It's a pretty shaggy mess. No big deal. Alright. Let it sit. Get some plastic wrap. Cover it up. Wow, this got real tingled. Real fast. Okay, that sounds pretty good. And give it a personality. Now, we'll call this one Domitry. Alright, now we're gonna let this auto-lease. Auto-lease is essentially letting the flour and water get to know each other. They're gonna hang out in there, they're gonna have an icebreaker, they're gonna chill. After 30 to 45 minutes, we'll take it back out, we'll knead it. The auto-lease essentially just lets the dough relax a little bit right after mixing. Once we start kneading it, it'll feel a little bit easier. We won't have to work just quite as hard to really move it around. It won't be as sticky. So we'll put this to the side. We're gonna feed our sourdough. I'm gonna get a little more water. Again, tepid water, not too cold, not too hot. I don't have specific temperatures for you. Just use your best judgment. You can throw it in the microwave, feel it a little bit. If it feels too hot, add a little cold water. If it feels too cold, leave it in there for a little while longer. Pretty easy. Put this back here. Get that going. So, yeah, that's fine. When I'm feeding my sourdough, my starter, especially when I'm not planning on baking anytime soon. First thing, we'll use ounces. Let's tear that. I generally use 3 ounces each of starter, water, and flour. let's see. 1, 2. Good enough. Alright, not a big deal if you're over or under. Just match the other ones to it. So we got 312. Yep, let's hear it. We'll add 3 ounces and 12 of water. 2. Close enough. Give it a quick mix. I'm using the same chopstick I used for the bread. Doesn't really matter, it's all sourdough. Over here, I have all-purpose. I have King Arthur all-purpose flour. When you buy all-purpose flour, make sure you're buying unbleached. Protein strength, we'll get into that later. I might post that on my website. It's a little more complex, especially if you're just making your first sourdough. Then don't worry about it much. Just make sure to buy unbleached. King Arthur's the best in my opinion. There's other ones. There's Red Mill. Kind of all the ones I've used actually. But there's like gold. I don't want to say gold bond because I think that's blue. But do the quick mix. Nothing too fancy. Put my chopstick back in here. I'll take that out. Tear it one more time. Again, 3.12 ounces of all-purpose flour. Let's stick it here so I can see it. 0.6. Almost. Take a little bit out. Yeah, we'll call that good. Okay, give it a quick mix. Scrape down the sides, get all that flour out of here. I'll move this out of the way. Get all of that mixed up. It's going to form a pretty paste-like substance. I know it's kind of gross, but not a big deal. Just scrape all that down. Alright, we're going to wash out my sourdough crock because I don't need the discard. Just dry it off a little bit. Hope you guys are having a pretty good day. Started this in the morning. It's a nice day outside. It's supposed to get pretty warm, so I'll probably spend most of it inside. Not a big deal. We got bread to be making. Alright. We'll dump the rest of our starter into our crock here. And just scrape down as much as you can. I still have the spoon next to me. Get out as much as I can with a chopstick and then spoon and scrape out the rest. I've never used a wood chopstick or a plastic chopstick. I've always used steel. I even use the steel chopsticks for cooking stuff too. Instead of using tongs, I'll use a chopstick to flip some bacon or flip some vegetables, whatever. I don't know, it just works. I've seen too many videos of chefs, cooks in Japan, Asian countries that just do crazy things with chopsticks. Hey, it makes sense. It's, you know, they're small, they're super easy to clean. I have a bunch of them. Okay, all that's pretty much scraped off. Now I'm gonna throw that bowl in the sink. Put the lid back on. So if you plan on baking bread again sometime this week, then sure, leave this out. Feed it daily. If not, like, I don't plan on making bread again for the rest of this week. I'm gonna put this in the fridge, let it chill until I need it again. Grab that. Back on there. We'll keep that out here. We can put the bread flour back. We don't need it anymore. Put it there. Okay, last thing I'm going to do, I guess before we finish this step, is measure out my salt. So if you've gone through my website and you've looked at the sourdough process, you'll see that I use a little soy sauce dish. Dip your sushi into. Tear it. Oops. 40 grams. I need 12 ounces of salt. I can use this just to measure salt. It's a good place. That's a lot of salt. Let's grab the spoon. It's a good little dish to use. I've used parchment paper, pull a little bit off. I've used little paper towels. And same thing, tore a little bit off to pour it on. It doesn't work as well as this. This is super easy, keeps the salt all, what's the word? There. Just gonna use the spoon to take some of the salt back out. So pour a lot in. I got 12, I'll take it. And if you're off by a couple tenths of a gram, you're fine. Not a big deal. Alright. Not going to put this in just yet. Go away. Put that to the side. Take the bread back down. I'm just going to put that right on top so I don't forget about it. Because I have done that before. Alright. Now, again, auto step. Not much to do. Let it hang out. Do whatever you got to do. I'm actually going to put this back up here. Give my work surface a bit of a rinse. We'll talk about work surfaces right now. So as you can see under this board, we do have granite slabs, granite countertops, which are fine to work with. I've done it before. I've made cinnamon rolls and bread on top of this. The only thing is, it's a little easier to clean this board instead of this. Plus, with the countertop, there's a bunch of other food that comes on it, other things, bowls, stuff like that, whereas this board I pretty much only use for baking. So this board makes it a little easier just to control what's coming on it, what things are on it, what things have touched it. A little cleaner. Give it a quick rinse. And yeah, that's pretty much the mixing process. The next video will go over the kneading process. We'll go into that a little before we start kneading. Talk about the techniques of it, talk about how to move the sourdough. It's going to be sticky, right? But there's nothing you can do about that. Again, the key is confidence. I'll repeat that again in that video too. But for now, continue on the process. You know, you just started mixing your dough. There's a whole day ahead of you. Again, make some time to make some sourdough. It's delicious in the end, even though it might not come out looking good. That's okay. Cut a chunk off, throw some butter on it, a little bit of jam. It's delicious. All right, till next time, I'll see you guys later.